So it is 10 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. We really appreciate you joining us today. I hope you all can hear me. I will ask if you can go ahead and keep your microphones muted. If you have any questions for us during the presentation, don't hesitate to put those in the chats. And it is our intention and effort to be done in an hour or less. Hopefully less. I don't think anybody's going to complain about that, but we are excited to have everybody here on a Friday morning and on basically spring semester eve. And so welcome and greetings. We'll start off by sharing. Hopefully you see our PowerPoint slide. So we did a little bit of a Mr. Rogers theme here, as you may have noticed, with our talk today, with our presentation today. And unfortunately, I actually saw where Mrs. Rogers passed away yesterday at 92. And so that was kind of a drag to see in the news. But sometimes we kind of feel like Mr. Rogers here in this office as we interact and we work with students and helping them out in their careers and their ambitions in their lives after Murray State. And so I'll kind of share with you a little bit briefly about kind of what our talk is going to look like today, sort of the structure of it, if you will. And we really wanted to put this together for a few different reasons. One of the big ones is the fact that as we survey students and we ask, how did you find out about this event or coming into career services? Typically, it's not uncommon to have over 80% of our attendees to a given event say they heard about it from faculty or staff. We also regularly have communications with our colleagues across campus who maybe are not as familiar with us, or they know about one certain slice of what we do, and then they find out about a few other things. Inevitably, they seem very, very surprised. And so we thought we would put this together and kind of share this out. Now, I understand we're all busy, especially with the last day before the spring semester. And so we are recording this session, and these slides and this video will be posted to our faculty staff webpage at murraystate.edu/careers. So just a heads up for you on that. But moving on, we are going to go into introductions, and we do have quotes. We love collecting quotes from the faculty members that we work with. If it's covered up by the thumbnails on your screen of the other participants on the call, you should be able to drag that actually and move it around and read some of these on our various section slides. And so I'm actually going to invite our administrative assistant here in Career Services, Ms. Colleen Anderson. If you don't mind, Colleen, you want to share a little bit about what we do and about what you do?
Well, good morning. I have laryngitis, so excuse my voice. But I'm the administrative assistant. I work up front, and I'm the greeter, the one that whenever somebody comes in, they're our first person that they meet. I work with our student workers and student team, graduate assistants. Basically, I do any of the administrative needs. If someone needs something, I can order it for them. I schedule the student team. I work with the trainings to get everyone ready. Um, just basically, I'm kind of everybody's right-hand person. As they ask me something, I'll try to get it for them or try to problem solve up front. So that's basically what I do.
She keeps us all in line, is what
I try
does.
to.
Miss Hannah, would you like to go next?
Absolutely. Hello, neighbors. I'm Hannah Carroll. I am the internship coordinator. I'm slash career counselor. So I do several different things within the office. But obviously, I work with students on internships. I work with employers on internships and faculty and staff every day, trying to get students internships, show them how to find them, what have you. I work with, any kind of career counseling that students may need, whether it's interview coaching, whether it's, going through the assessments, what have you. And then I also work with the National Student Exchange Program, the Disney College Program, all of those different programs. And yeah, I love it here. I think that it's really an excellent office on campus. We have a lot of fun. We love helping our students, and we love helping the faculty and staff as well. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys today.
All right. And we also have Drew Mellebeck.
All right. So hi, my name is Drew Mellebeck. I'm the other career counselor along with Hannah in the office. So I basically help with everything along with career exploration, career decision making, as well as resumes, interview, basically anything to help them be successful choosing a major and in choosing a career.
Thank you, Drew. And then we have Mr. Travis.
Hello, everyone. So I'm the employer relations coordinator for the office, and a lot of my job has to deal with running our online job system called Handshake, which you'll learn a lot about in this presentation today. So I kind of handle all of that. I also am responsible for running our career fairs, which have been a little bit different the last couple semesters. But really enjoy doing all of that. Of course, similar to Drew and Hannah, I also meet with students for resume, mock interviews, and any kind of appointments they need as well. But yeah, it's a little bit about what I do.
All right, thank you. And my name is Matt Purdy. I'm the director here in Career Services, and I joined Murray State about 4 years ago now. And basically, I help assist everybody else in the office with whatever they need. I also get involved in various community organizations and committees, and try to work campus-wide in any way that we can, help serve and support all of our departments and all of our students. So a little bit about. This should come as no shock to anybody at all, but 2020 was a rather challenging year for us for various reasons. Well, one good thing, and this is one thing I said throughout the pandemic so far, is that it sort of forces us to go into new areas and do things that, had the pandemic not happened, we probably would not have pursued. And so one perfect example of that, we would do regular career seminars even prior to 2020. And we often had questions about, could we record those? Could we post those online? Could we do them virtually? And we tried a few times just in fits and starts, and just due to just technology and not being as familiar with it, never really felt like a good product that we were proud to put out. Like for everybody else, 2020 changed that for us. And so we've certainly have embraced kind of streaming and posting videos and so on and so forth. Although I got to say, we can't wait to get back to in person. But we've also been able to really re-envision our operations and see, okay, how can we operate in a more virtual environment and take advantage of all the resources that we have. One example of this is being able to work remotely, and it actually really helps us out because we've been able to actually get to student groups that normally might not think about booking career services because maybe they meet late on a Sunday night or something like that. This has sort of opened up those doors for us that that previously hadn't been there. I did pull some pieces of data just to kind of show in 2020, this is from January to December, sort of what things looked like. And we were at a reduced capacity whenever we look at numbers. Our numbers weren't what they had been in the past, but we were still pretty happy. Now this number, this 1,600 attendees to various events, whether that be the JCPenney Suit Up event, presentations, networking events, those are broken off separately from career fairs. Actually. And so if we look at our overall career fair number throughout the calendar year of 2020, it had a fairly good turnout there, over 1,500 students. And that's across 308 unique employers. That's not double counting. If we did that, it's actually closer to 450 to 500 employers, but uniques is just over 300. And so we're really happy about that. We have a little bit more information about our career fairs coming up later on in the talk. Now, as Travis mentioned, you're going to hear a lot about Handshake today. That is really the brains of our operation. That's how people schedule appointments. That's how we track data and a lot of different things. And so it's a tool, and that's what it is. It's not a tool. It doesn't replace us. But it's a great way for students to get connected with employers who are interested in hiring Murray State racers. And so just in 2020, we had nearly 3,000 students activate their accounts, and 91% of them have made their profiles public. That's important to point out. By default, their profiles are private. And we tell them, hey, if you make it public, employers can obviously find you and seek you out as they're looking for new talent. And so also had over 4,000 applications made through Handshake. And so we're really, really happy with that. We really look at the application count to make sure, okay, are students using it and taking advantage of it? And this number was a little unbelievable whenever we first pulled it. But if you looked at the calendar year of 2020, we had nearly 25,000 positions kind of flow through that system from January to December. Any given point in time, we have around 5,000 to 6,000 positions. Naturally, some of those are going to expire and cycle out as new ones come in. And so we're thrilled with this number, and it's been a great tool for us since we implemented it. I think it's been almost 3 years ago now. So, and as I said, Travis has more information coming up soon about Handshake. And we do want to move on. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes people aren't really quite sure what we do, or they think that we're just for the seniors who are getting ready to graduate, and they think, oh, you don't need that till you're a junior or senior, or you graduate. And we're happy to meet all of our students wherever they're at, but it tends to work out a little better the sooner they start with us. And I'd like to invite Drew Mellebeck to share a little bit more about our services that we offer the campus community. Drew?
All right, yeah. Thank you, Matt. So let me see. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go into a little bit about our services that we offer, like Matt said, for all of our students. So our services range for our students from their orientation all the way till after graduation. So any point in their life cycle as a student, we have a service that we can offer them. These are just to name a few that you see here on the screen. I'm going to go into more detail about a lot of these, but some things that we do that a lot of people don't know is that we actually look over offers for students. So I know there's some fraudulent or kind of scammy job postings out there. So if students are unsure about one, they can send that to us via email or make an appointment, and we can look through that and help them investigate and kind of help them be like, yes, this is a great job, or maybe not that one. We also help with salary negotiation. So if a student does get an internship or job, we can help with that process too. And even alumni down the road, if they're like, I think I want a career change, they can contact us and we can do career counseling with them to see if that's a decision they want to make and provide them the steps to do that as well. So like I said, we have it from a wide range of their student life cycle. All right, so I'm going to start off talking about career exploration. This is a lot of what myself and Hannah does as career counselors. So we have many career assessments that actually help students if they have no idea what they want to major in. So right here we have all the ones that we do offer: the Focus 2, the My Majors, 16 Personalities, and My Next Move. I'm going to go into a little bit more about the Focus 2 in the next slide because that's our main career assessment and that's our bread and butter, and talk a little bit more about how that one works. We also have great resources for students who maybe have a major but not sure what they want to do with that major. Yes, I'm going to major in English, or I'm going to major in marketing, but what are my options with that? We have resources like what can I do with this major and Candid Careers that can help with that. And I'll talk about what those are in the next few slides as well. All right. So the Focus 2, like I said, this is our main career assessment that we have here in the office. What we love so much about it is actually 5 different career assessments all rolled into one. So the students go in and they're each about 5 minutes. So to complete all of them is only about 25 minutes, and they don't have to do it in one complete sitting. They can take breaks and come back if they want. And there are different ones like their work interest. Are they people? Do they like art? Are they thinkers? Are they persuaders? Where do they fall in these categories? Their personality. This one is loosely based off the Myers-Briggs, but are they introverted or extroverted? Are they logical or more emotions-based? What are their hobbies? What are their values? Do they value income, prestige, autonomy, helping others, as well as their skills? So what skills do they want to utilize? So the math, listening to people, teaching. These are all things that they can tell the assessment. Once they're done, it actually combines all the results from all 5 assessments and gives the student a report. So this is what it does. And it says, hey, these careers appeared in all 5 of your career assessments. These appeared in 4, 3, 2, and 1. So they can kind of look through and see, what assessments came up and which ones piqued their interest. And as you can see on the list where they tell them what careers, that side with the colors actually tells them what career assessment they fall under. So for an educational psychologist, it fell under values, personalities, skills, and hobbies for this person. So if they value one assessment over the other, they can kind of pick and choose that as well. Another thing I really like to point out is right next to the column right next to where they say what professions they might be interested in, they're all the majors. So, hey, if you want to go into these professions, these are the majors that you might be interested in majoring in to get to that position. All of those are actually linked to our Murray State majors page. So if they do want to be an educational psychologist and they're like, what is a psychology degree? They can click on it. It'll bring them right to the Murray State website for psychology. So there's no, oh, I want to do this and I want to major in this. Oh, Murray State doesn't have that. All of these are available for our students. So that's one thing that we also really like about the Focus 2. And then if they find one that they actually enjoy or they want to learn more about, they can click on it and they will see a report that kind of gives them an overview, how much of a match they are, the skills, values, all that kind of stuff, so they can learn more about their chosen field. So that's kind of in an overview of the Focus 2. It really helps students kind of narrow down things and careers and majors that they might be interested in. So let's say they say the Focus 2 and they're like, I really want to major in English, or I really want to do this. What options do I have? This is another great resource we offer for students. What can I do with this major? What it is, it's on our website. It has a list of every major that you can possibly major in. You click on it and then it tells you every option and everything you can possibly do with that major. So for example, if someone decided to go in TV, broadcasting, that side and do that major, they can go to this website. And one area they can work in is electronic media. So that could be television, radio, electronic publishing, broadcasting. And then it tells them who hires those people. Well, of course, major networks, but also local networks. Your local TV news station and public radio also needs you. One is the government and like higher education. Now that everything's virtual and we're kind of in this new world, people need people who can film things, edit things, and put them on social media. So that's kind of maybe something a student might not think about. And then my favorite is strategy. So after that, what are the steps you need to take and able to obtain those jobs? Do you need an internship? Do you need a graduate degree? Do you need a network? Where do you need a network? So if they are interested, it also gives them those strategies on how to take those steps to obtain that position. And another one that we have is Candid Careers. This is one of my favorites that we have in the office. It's over 7,000 videos of people talking about their careers and giving advice. So let's say they're like, yes, I think I want to go into marketing, but I still don't know really what a marketer does or what a typical day looks like. This is the resource for them. So they go, they type in marketer or marketing, they click on it, and it's people, like I said, talking about their jobs. There's a job description. So what do they do in a typical day? Their loves and challenges. So what do they love about their job and what are the cons of their job? How to prepare. So if a student is interested in that position, their advice on what to do, and then all kind of other things that might be interested in the student. So it's kind of that first step before job shadowing and informational interview that they can really dive into a career and say, oh yes, this is what I thought it is, or I don't know if this is for me. Also on Candid Careers, we also have really good career advice videos. So right here, like getting hired and virtual meeting etiquette. So with this new world, how do you host a meeting on Zoom and how do you act professional over Zoom? There's also interviews, tips, resumes, all that good stuff. So there's also those services and those videos offered for our students on Candid Careers as well. All right, so after a student has chosen a major and a field that they're really excited about, we also help with the personal branding. So we do help with resume development, everything from I don't have a resume and I don't know how to make one to I have one, can you look it over for me? We actually do have an email, msu.eresume@murraystate.edu. So students, they can make an appointment with us or they can just send their resume to that email and say, can you look it over for us? We'll put virtual comments on and send it back. So that is a resource that we offer students if they either want to make an appointment with us or just want to send it over the email. We also do cover letters. Cover letters are very important. I had a student come to me. We got their cover letter all ready to go, set up. They applied for the job. And when they got called for an interview, they said, you had all the qualifications, but we wanted to talk to you because your cover letter was so good. So if students need a really good cover letter, don't be afraid to send them to us. Also, social media. So yes, we help with your LinkedIn and getting it all set up and how to make connections. But at the same time, in this virtual world, employers are looking at students' social media, and it's almost kind of a red flag if they don't have any social media. So where's that balance between having it and being professional? That's something that we can help with. We also offer free professional headshots for students, which I'll get into in a little bit. And we also help students with networking, whether it's an in-person, how do you work an in-person network event, or virtually, how do you send connections on LinkedIn, and how do you use social media to make those connections and build that to help you for when you graduate. We also have the career closet, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a future slide as well. That's a really great resource for our students. All right, so like I said, we do have free professional headshots for our students. So when we go into Handshake with Travis or LinkedIn, you need a professional headshot because your LinkedIn profile is 7 times more likely to be viewed if you have a picture. And so a student can make an appointment with us, or they can just walk in dressed very professionally, and we'll take a free professional headshot for them. So even with COVID, it's still very safe. So what they'll do is they'll come on with the mask. We'll have our mask on. We'll back away because we have to do anyway to take the picture. They'll take their mask off, hold their breath, smile. We'll take the picture, and as soon they'll put their mask right back on. So this is still a resource that we can still offer during COVID. So we're very excited about that. And the next one we have is our career closet. So our career closet is basically, as you can see, a room, a boutique almost, of free professional clothing for our students to have. So if they need a blazer or a skirt or pants or anything for an interview or a whole outfit, they can come, and this is professional clothing that they can come. If they like something, they can take. It's free and they don't have to return it. It is theirs. So this is a great resource that we do offer for students. During COVID, it is closed, like no one can go in, but what the students can do is make an appointment on Handshake. We'll send them a form and they'll just tell us what they're looking for, what colors they like, what their sizes are. We'll get that form, we'll look through, see what we have, pick some things out, take pictures, send it back to the students. The students tell us what they like and what they want. We'll bag it up and we'll have a no contact pickup. So this is another resource that we're very happy that we can still offer students. All of these clothes are donated, but we haven't taken donations in almost a year since last March, since the pandemic. So, but we still have a ton of clothing to offer students as well. So that is something that we do offer if a student ever says they need professional clothing for an interview or whatever reason. On top of that, we do also do interview coaching, whether it's in person or virtual, and how to conduct an interview. It can be as personalized or as general as possible. So if a student just wants a quick, so if they're like, hey, it's Rusty, I just kind of want the top 10 questions asked during a job interview, we can do that for them. Or if they're like, hey, I'm going to have a job at an accountant at this firm. We actually have a whole database of questions, top questions that people ask during an accountant interview or at this company. So we can ask questions we know either the company has asked before or people applying for that position has applied for. We do try to customize it as much as we can for each student. So before the pandemic, we actually had a student applying for veterinarian school contact us. She said it's going to be me and 3 other people. So myself, Hannah Carroll, and our GA all went in the conference room and had the interview. So she had the chance to see, okay, how does this interview flow with 3 people? Again, after the pandemic, I had a student say, I have an interview, there are going to be 2 other people on Zoom. So myself and Hannah hopped on a Zoom with this student so she can learn how to navigate a job interview with 2 people on Zoom. So we do customize it for every student. And of course, we help for before, during, and after an interview. So how to dress, how to prepare, how to maybe a fist bump because we may not be handshaking for a while to be nice to the receptionist, and then after. So how do you send that thank you up email that helps so many people get the job? How do you follow up when you haven't heard back? So we do all of that as well. So the last thing I'll touch on, these are a picture of our conference room, but the one at the top is actually our Pella room that's in the lobby. So I know there's a lot of virtual interviews going on right now. So let's say a student has an interview, but there's no place for them to have a professional background, or maybe with a roommate and a dog or a pet, there's no like quiet space for them to do it. This is a space that they can actually rent out. They just have to contact us, let us know when their interview is, and they can come, and that way they have a quiet place where they have a professional background where they can do the interview. And of course, we'll sanitize it before and after they leave, but this is a resource. So if a student just needs the room just because they need a place to do a virtual interview, this is a resource that we do offer for them. But that's pretty much it for my side of things. I'm going to turn it over to Travis now so he can talk about some other resources we offer for students, but as well as our employers and our faculty and staff.
All right. Thanks, Drew.
All right. So thanks, Drew, for turning it over. So I'm mainly going to talk about Handshake and some of the stuff regarding that. So Handshake is the online job platform that we use here in the office. And, well, it's pretty much what we use for everything in our office. So all of our appointments, all of our events, everything go right through the Handshake platform. But as of right now, we have over 6,500 employers currently on the system, and that number is actually growing every single day. So it's so many different employers on there. They're very different backgrounds. So there's always something for somebody when they get on there. And we have over, like Matt said, we normally have around 5,000 to 6,000 active positions at a time. And that holds true for the most part. And then, of course, we use Handshake for, like I said, everything: jobs, internships, our career fairs are run through there, our events, appointments. We do a lot of data collecting, networking, and all that good stuff from Handshake. But I want to kind of break it down just a little bit for everybody. There we go. So the first thing I want to talk about is kind of like how students use Handshake. Well, when a student comes to Murray State, they automatically actually have an account on Handshake. So it's through their MyGate credentials. So all they got to do is go to murraystate.joinhandshake.com, and then they'll be able to access their account through MyGate. They'll set it up, they'll set their profile up, answer some questions and everything. And then Handshake will actually offer them jobs and everything like that based on how they answer it. But it's really, expansive. Students can access Handshake to see on-campus jobs. All of our on-campus jobs right now are actually run through Handshake. So it's super easy for students to actually get on there, apply to these on-campus jobs. They actually just go to jobs, hit on campus, and it filters them all out for them. So super easy. They have access to full-time, part-time jobs, internships, all the events in our office. So all of our career seminars, career labs, everything like that are also on Handshake, so they can sign up for those who are there. And of course, our career fairs. So normally we host in-person career fairs. Of course, due to COVID, our career fairs had to shift to a virtual format. And Handshake actually launched a virtual fair platform, which is really neat. So all of our fairs have been going through that. And I had to say, they've been, to me, very successful. I think the students have really adapted to it. I think the employers really adapted to it. So it's been great so far. But they can also use it for networking and other resources as well. So the next thing I want to talk about is employers. So, of course, employers have access to Handshake as well. They can actually create accounts, get access to recruit at Murray State. And Handshake actually has a great system in place for us to filter out any scam companies. It assigns them a trust score and everything that we can look at, and some other things like that as well. So we're always, built on to watch out for those. But employers, of course, can utilize Handshake to do all kinds of things. They can post jobs, internships for students. They can create interview schedules, and students can go in and sign up for those interview schedules. They can actually create events too, just like we do. So they can host presentations at their company. Maybe that's just going over what their company does, or maybe they're just covering some other topic as well. But of course,
I'm sorry, Travis. I wanted to jump in real quick too, just to kind of echo exactly what you're talking about the companies that host events. For instance, the NFL Hall of Fame has events, Bank of America, all kinds of places. JP Morgan will do events out there. There's at any given time literally hundreds of events from different employers our students. And one other thing too that Travis mentioned about the fraudulent companies, unfortunately, we have seen a huge uptick in these during the pandemic, particularly around commencement time, so like May, December timeframe. If a student has any question at all about something being legitimate, we really recommend they bring it, obviously, to somebody. But usually we're pretty good about sussing out the details and kind of figuring out, okay, is this legitimate or is this not? That's not in the slide, but I was just thinking if I wanted to put that out there.
No, yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, employers are able to, they're able to register for our career fairs and everything through there, and they can actually scout out students as well. So they can actually go out, look at the students' profiles and everything. Now, of course, students can elect to keep some of their information private, of course, and some information is private by default. But employers are able to look at, their experience, education, all that good stuff as well. Now, I do want to talk about faculty. So obviously, faculty can actually have an account on Handshake as well, and we definitely welcome you to do it. All you need to do is reach out to me, reach out to our office. We are happy to set you up an account on Handshake. That way, you can actually go out here, look at the companies who are on there, look at the opportunities they have, and you can even take some of that information and bring it to your students. And I will say this: it's not on the slide, but if your department or anything ever wants like maybe RSS feeds or anything for your website, we can actually create RSS feeds that represent jobs and stuff from Handshake, and we can put those on like your website and everything. But I didn't want to throw that out there because we've done it a couple times as well. But of course, you can search jobs, internships on the platform, and you can see the events hosted by the companies as well. So, but yeah, like I said, if you want an account, definitely reach out to us. We're happy to provide you one. And then, of course, I want to talk about career fairs. So career fairs is one of the biggest things that I do in the office. And we always like to tell students and everyone that 85% of these opportunities, they come from networking. It's not going out online and looking at jobs. It's actually getting to connect with the individuals who come to these fairs, whether it's virtual or in person. But we typically host around 4 to 5 different career fairs every single semester. And of course, in 2020, these were hosted virtually through the Handshake platform. So it is a little bit different from our in-person career fairs. So students actually got to sign up for sessions and everything hosted by employers. And they would meet with them through video or chat. A lot of these meetings actually took place in the form of one-on-ones. So they would meet with the employer for roughly 10 to 15 minutes in a one-on-one video chat or text chat, wherever that might be. And then, of course, employers were also able to host employer group presentations. So that would up to like 50 students could go into it and everything. But you can see it on your screen here. This is kind of an example of what it looks like. So they have like the chat system on the right-hand side, and then they have like a video in the middle, kind of similar to how Zoom or Skype or something would work. So it was a very good format. And I think there's a lot of success with the students and everything. And we heard a lot of great things from employers about it. So I definitely think it was great, and I think we're going to have another great semester of it as well. All right.
I'm gonna jump in too. I appreciate that, Travis. There's one myth that from time to time we hear from different colleagues on campus, and this might have been true at one point in time, but it's, oh, career services can help you if you want to stay in Murray or if you want to stay in our 18 county service region. And we love our employers in our 18 county service region. But I have heard students being directed to, oh, you don't have to really go to their events. You can do that if you want to work for one of the employers here locally. But if that's not your bag, then you just get on LinkedIn or do Indeed or Monster or whatever. And those aren't bad sites. We recommend to students cast the biggest net possible. But Travis kind of run a report for us to kind of show in 2020 where companies came from just to tune into our career fairs. This is not Handshake. This is just our career fairs and organizations coming here to recruit racers. And so the dark states are the ones that we have had employers, virtually or otherwise, come to Murray to recruit racers. And so we're super proud of this, and we're super proud of all of our students and all of our alums. Naturally, we would love to keep them in our 18 county service region, but we also want to provide them as many opportunities as possible for our students. And so if you hear anybody saying that, it's a myth. It's not a fact. And so we strive to provide opportunities across the board for all of our colleges and across the country for that matter. So I thought that was important to point out. And now we have Miss Hannah Carroll. And Hannah, I will give you control of our screen here. So
I'll take it.
All right, awesome. Or if I need to, I'm happy to hit the slides for you too. So, yay.
It's working for me.
Awesome.
I love technology. Welcome, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us this far. I'm kind of rounding up with all of my coworkers. We really have an office of unicorns, everyone. These people I work with are amazing. Travis with the Handshake and the technology blows my mind every day. So when you guys are trying to navigate it or anything technology, call Travis. I'm serious. And that's for everyone. Drew is so personal with these students. Colleen makes everyone feel so welcome. And Matt's this wealth of knowledge. I called him a dinosaur the other day because he knows everything about career services. So I'm following up behind some really great people right now. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the opportunities that we have to offer at career services. There are several different things that students can do while they're in college, while they're, getting the degree. They can gain that experience at the same time. So I'm really going to talk to you guys about some part-time positions, internship opportunities, and even some micro internships that we've recently partnered with as well. And I'm just going to, breeze over these things. Feel free to reach out, especially if you're looking to, maybe teach a course in internships or really advise your students on how to get out there and gain that experience and hopefully maybe get some college credit for it. So first up is these part-time jobs. And students choose these for many, many different reasons. A lot of times students, they may be financially independent, or they may want just some financial freedom. So it may be something where they're just trying to get some monetary gain. A lot of students may be on their own. A lot of students may, want to be able to experience all kinds of different things. Maybe they want to study abroad, what have you. It's a really great way for them to gain that financial freedom and have that flexibility. If you're working a full-time job, a lot of times you're not going to be as flexible. You may be gaining the experience, but you don't want it to interfere with your courses. So we tell students, this is a great way to have that flexibility and have the ability to really be able to organize, okay, here's the time for my courses. Here's the time to go into the workplace, gain the experience, build those networking opportunities and the like. And the vital experience, again, that it gives and the networking opportunity is vast. When you have these people in your wheelhouse and when you do a great job, you can go back to those individuals and you can, ask for references, ask for all of these different things. So the ability to have a part-time position, and Murray State University, obviously, as you all know, does a great job of hiring student workers and graduate assistants and all these different people across campus. That really gives them that experience and helps them continue in the workforce and put something on their resume, because that's the big thing, is get it on the resume, bulk up that resume and really be able to shoot it through. We can assist with this in numerous ways. Colleen Anderson is our know-all to on-campus positions. A lot of students come in and say, hey, I don't really know if there's anything on campus. And Colleen will say, oh, I just got a call from, maybe the event center. They're looking for, evening staff, or I've gotten a call from Sodexo recently, or, this office on campus actually just reached out to me. We really know, the people on campus or the people in the community, for that matter, that really, are out there hiring our students. And we love that we have that relationship. So if you all have positions, call up, Colleen, or call up one of us, and we can really help promote that out to students. So we can help with that in numerous ways. And as Matt said before, the community jobs, they're out there. We have a great relationship with the Chamber of Commerce. We tell students to get out there, see what's out there, even if it's volunteering. It really is going to ramp up that resume and all of the different things that's needed for their future career. And, you know, when they're meeting with us, whether it's me, Travis, Drew, you name it, we're going to tell them all about how to network and all about how to actually obtain those positions. And if you're, you know, so you're just looking for a student worker position, well, make sure you dress business and, you know, casual or business professional, and make sure that you take in your resume, take a copy of your schedule into that office. We try to tell them things that they may not have thought of, instead of just, you know, walking into an office and saying, hey, are you guys hiring? You know, we give them the tips that hopefully will set them apart. So those are just really cool things that we offer when it comes to part-time positions. And again, all of these positions, they're posted on Handshake, the full-time, again, all posted on Handshake. So we really want to make sure that we're utilizing Handshake to get this information out there. So internships is one of the biggest portions of my position. An internship is really something that a student can just utilize throughout their college career to, again, ramp up that resume, gain the experience, network, and really be able to land a job after their college career. 85% of it's networking. So internships are a great way to do this. They can be anywhere from a summer internship to a full semester, even up to a year of an internship. They can be paid or unpaid. Students can get class credit for them if they so choose. So there's lots of different routes they can go in order to gain an internship and really gain that experience. And again, when students meet with me, I really just suggest you have a student come and make an appointment with me, because I pull up these things on the screen and really walk them through, okay, what is this and what can we find out there, and how can we broaden that spectrum of finding that actual position. The benefits are massive, and the list, I could go on all day about the benefits of these internships, but truly it builds that resume, it builds that networking. They learn how to interact with others in the workplace. They learn those soft skills that are at the top of the list for employers right now. They want students, and they want people coming into the workplace that know how to, you know, feel into the climate of the workplace and be able to, you know, be involved in teamwork, be able to utilize technology, all of these different facets of a job. The internship can truly get them in the door that way. They're going to be able to develop all those transferable skills, build that network. And again, you know, we put some data up here for you. You know, 16% of these students who have these internships are more likely to receive a job offer, you know, upon graduation. So that's a really cool aspect of it, is that a lot of times it can truly lead to a job offer. I myself had, you know, a position on campus, and it led to, you know, a full-time position in the future. It's who you know. It's how to get yourself out there, and we really want to be able to, you know, put this information out there for students. So when it comes to the process of finding an internship, this is just a kind of a small copy of our paperwork. Again, we can walk you through it. But students usually, they start the search process. We tell them to meet with their academic advisor. So it may be some of you out there, and figure out, you know, hey, do I need an internship for this type of major? Is it going to be something that I can get credit for? Is there a internship course within the major already that I could take? If there's not an internship course within the major, then students can come in and actually take a guidance course with me. So they can get college credit if they so choose that way. Once they figure out, okay, this is going to be qualifying, they can come meet with me. I'm going to show them how to find the internships, how to apply, how to ramp up your resume, your cover letter for those internships. Then we fill out this paperwork with a student. Once they're hired, the employer is going to work with them. Okay, what are the outcomes that we're going to have coming out of this? We have a kind of a survey at the end of it that students can take, and it really just helps us, you know, with the process, streamlining it, and making sure that we have all the data. There are a lot of different criteria for an internship. It's all on our website, you know, but we want to make sure students, you know, are getting the educational aspects of it. 300 hours would count for 3 credit hours, just the generalities of it. We want to make sure that students are utilizing. So that's kind of, you know, the big information out there for an internship. As far as searching for an internship, there's so many different routes. Again, have them contact me. I'm going to talk to them about how to find alumni on LinkedIn and how to reach out to alumni. Alumni love helping students. How to utilize the Career Services website. Again, we have a wealth of information on there. And then there's the online search engines, all the different resources on there. But we really just tell them, make an appointment with us. You all, if you would like to make an appointment with us to kind of learn more about this process, or even to help your students find internships, just let us know. There's really a great deal of information out there on it. And then we also have recently partnered with Parker Dewey for micro internships. So Parker Dewey offers all kinds of different short-term internships for students. Parker Dewey was around pre-COVID, so now that COVID has happened, Parker Dewey is really becoming one of the top leaders in micro internships that are out there. So they offer anything from, an internship that may be 5 hours up to 20 hours, up to 100 hours. The pay scale for these is fantastic. What the students see is what they get. So the pay scale is really, wonderful, and it's very user friendly and easy to utilize. We can have an example of kind of one of the postings. So the student makes their account, and then all of the postings are listed. It's going to have the job description, the company description. You'll see, the payment, the hours, if it's remote or in person. Most of these are going to be remote. And then when they apply for the project, they just fill out a few questions, and most of the time that kind of qualifies as the interview. So it's really easy to utilize, really easy to connect, and students get really great information for these. And it kind of helps them figure out what they want to do. They do some short-term projects, and it really broadens, again, that spectrum of, okay, that's what's out there in the world, instead of narrowing it, okay, I can only do this one thing. So that's kind of a really cool thing that we partnered with this year. We're really excited to promote that more. And if you have any questions for any of those, just reach out to us.
All right, thanks, Hannah. We're sharing our controls as we go through and do our different sections of the presentation. And so we love Parker Dewey. It's been an awesome service for us. And I do want to go back real quick to that slide that was just on the screen, because you may notice the payment option there. This one is $450 for 25 hours worth of work. The student sees that before they even apply. And so the student knows exactly what they're getting into. And as Hannah pointed out, these are all paid opportunities. And they're open, obviously, to students and also alums as well. So should you have alumni contact you if they're looking for side projects or side hustles, could be a good potential opportunity. And so as far as working with faculty and staff and departments, there's a few different ways that we have been utilized before in the past. And I should say, we're always open to new ideas and new initiatives. It's very rare when we say no. I'd like to point that out. One of the most common things is having career services come in and present on a certain career topic. And it's a great option in case you're traveling, if you're going to a conference or anything like that. You don't have to cancel class. We can come in, whether it be virtual or in person. We do both. We're happy to help out with attendance. We've done that in the past. And it might be filling up the whole class period, or maybe 5 or 10 minutes in the beginning to share some kind of tidbit with your students. Now, the key is our handy presentation request form. Everything flows through that. You can always call and chat before you fill that out if you have questions. And these are just some of the topics that are out there. And so it might be effective video interviewing techniques or dressing for success. I should point out, though, these are not the only topics. If you're curious about a very specific part in the career development process, contact us. We regularly create new presentations from scratch on a per request basis. And so we love working with students and with faculty and staff members. And so keep us in mind for different presentations. And as I said, this is probably the vast majority of how the campus uses our office. Another way, though, is in a close second, is through assignments. Telling your students, okay, it's 5 points, go in, get your resume looked at by career services, or go in and make sure your Handshake profile is set up, or whatever it might be. We're more than happy to help out with this. The only thing we really ask is give us a heads up that this is coming up, because from time to time we'll find out through the students that it's for an assignment. And we think we can create a really strong experience for everybody involved if we have a little bit of a heads up. Whether you have a interview rubric or interview questions you would like us to follow on your behalf for your class, we can do that. Or likewise too, as far as resume formatting, we're very familiar with the fact that a resume for, say, an accounting student is going to be very different than a resume for an education or a safety student. And we're totally fine with that. And so if you have requirements you were looking for on your grading rubrics, if you let us know, then we can be prepared as your students come in and have a talk with us. But as I said, if this is on your radar, please don't hesitate to reach out. We would love to have that conversation with you. And same way too with event attendance. And the great thing is we do track attendance at all of our events. And so it's not difficult at all for us to run a report. Typically, we ask for a spreadsheet of your students, and then we can go in and tell you, yes, this person attended, or no, this person didn't. And even if we work it down to the career fairs, we can tell you not only if they attended, but how many interactions they had with our visiting employers. And so we really strive to kind of create some really good actionable reports for our friends across campus. And last but certainly not least, and as I said, we're always open to ideas, but we're very well aware that students will typically interact with their departments, especially after they leave and they become alums. And they may be looking for an intern, for instance, or a college level hire. And obviously, they like to reach out to their old units and their old departments. That's great. We want to support that any way we can. And typically, I'm sure you all have kind of received messages from us saying, hey, so and so is an alum that contacted us. This might work well in your area. We want to pass this along. It also helps too if it goes the other way. If we find out that an alum has contacted a department, it may be an organization that we already have a relationship with, that they may already be in Handshake, but maybe that position isn't listed yet. Or it might be a organization that doesn't realize all of the opportunities that we have here at Murray State. And so it could be an organization that is seeking one particular degree, but they might have needs for another. And so it just kind of helps just if we can be looped in. We're not trying to take anything over or anything like that. But it helps us out in terms of kind of finding out, okay, what opportunities are available out there. And that way also too, likewise, as we meet with your students, we can also share the opportunity with them. So the final part of our talk is discussing briefly about our spring 21 initiatives. And so as we started planning, and we typically start our spring planning or our semester planning a couple months in advance. And so we're really happy with everything going on so far. We were happy with the fall and kind of working through a virtual environment. And we really kind of designed the spring to be similar, basically. And so our expectation is the fall we will be able to return to in-person events. If we're able to before then, wonderful. We'd be more than happy to pivot into those areas. Just share with you a little bit about what's going on here. One thing we're going to be hosting is a career fair boot camp, if you will. And this is a come and go event. Students aren't, stuck with us for 2 whole hours. They're welcome to if they like. But students can come in and receive customized advice based on whatever is happening with them, specifically as it pertains to the career fairs. So it might be, what should I wear, or what kind of background should I have as I'm talking to employers? How does my resume look? Whatever questions they may have, we're happy to answer for them. And I'll give you a full disclosure right now. All of these events, students can register for these on Handshake, and that's going to be the process. I said we use that system a lot. We are still doing the suit up events with JCPenney. And so I'm certain everybody here is familiar with the news that our Murray JCPenney will be closing between now and March. As soon as that news came out, we reached out to JCPenney Corporate. We were planning on doing a virtual event again anyway. We did this back in the fall, and we had, I want to say it was around 230 participants, which the first time out with a virtual event, we were actually pretty happy with that. Same thing is happening here in the spring. It was already it was already on the schedule and ready to go. And so we are going to go ahead and maintain this event with JCPenney for the spring. And then we have some decisions to make about what this might look like in the fall semester. This is a listing of some of the apparel that is eligible for this discount. Basically, it's a discount on professional clothing. One thing is, and I don't know if there's anybody from the School of Nursing or the veterinary program on this call. However, scrubs are not included this semester, and that bummed us out. But unfortunately, they just don't have the inventory to manage the orders that they would typically expect to receive. So it's just like past years, just no scrubs, unfortunately. But as far as professional clothing goes, and as Drew mentioned, the career closet's a great option, but JCPenney, new professional clothing. And we still tell students dress professionally, whether you're on video, on phone, or of course in person. And so we've got several events, several career fairs, if you will, for our students, including with our friends over in the Hudson School of Agriculture. And that's actually an example that we're all really proud of being able to reach out and help our friends on campus kind of convert some of their events to virtual events if they needed it. Another example, it's not on this slide here, but last semester we helped out the health professions fair go virtual. And so anytime we can be of assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out. Perhaps your department or you know of an event similar to a career fair where students are interacting with external parties. It may be beneficial to give us a call and see, is there some way we could potentially help out in terms of letting you use our tools for this. And so more than happy to keep Travis even busier than he already is. We are doing, I mentioned earlier, some of our career labs and career seminars. Our regular seminars that happen generally once a week, we are going to be recording these and putting them on YouTube. We ran them live, so to speak, in the fall, but unfortunately students, whether it's during class times or they had other obligations or they just needed a break from Zooms, we didn't have the traction that we had expected. And so we're actually going to be putting these on our YouTube channel. We will also be using our Facebook page as well for select type of situations where we're going to do Facebook Lives. This goes through some of the topics anyway that typically we get these topics too when they're requested by either students or departments. And so if you have an idea for a particular subject we could cover, we would love to do that. And so this is us, the people that you see that are hosting and running these. And typically speaking, they're around 30 to 40 minutes long. And then share some different information with them. Now, we are going to be hosting career labs. And these are similar to the Career Fair Boot Camp that I mentioned earlier, where students will be able to come into one room and then be dealt off to specific rooms for their own interactive needs. And so perhaps it's, what's the best way to introduce myself, or what's a good elevator pitch, or what do I do my first 2 weeks on my internship? That's what these are going to be designed for. And so it's going to be kind of an all hands on deck type of program for career services, because obviously we need staffing in all these different Zoom rooms, but we're really excited about this. And then once again, register on Handshake. And that's a ton of stuff. And I will say, though, we are always looking to build out more activities, more events. There will be more information forthcoming. We've got a couple of different events, one potentially after March 3rd, after the STEM-OSH career fair that evening, that we're still working on building out and producing. And we got to make sure people are available and facilities are available, so on and so forth. On their end. So I can't say a whole lot about those right now, but do understand that we are always open to ideas, whatever it might be. Potentially it's something that you just read about from another university, or maybe your alma mater did something and it's something that potentially we could adopt and customize for Murray State. We're always interested in trying to do new things and push things forward. And we are still interested in doing an etiquette dinner, for instance. That was planned for April 1st of last year. Naturally, that did not happen, but that's an example of something that's definitely still at the top of our list once we can go back to in-person events. So this does conclude our presentation today. As promised, we got you out just an hour. We really appreciate you all tuning in. We know this is a busy time of year. Don't hesitate to reach out to us anytime, whether it be through phone, email, social media, or you can just come in to 100 Oakley. Just wear your mask and stay distant and use hand sanitizer like we all do. And we look forward to working with you and having a great spring 21 semester. Thank you again for tuning in, and go Racers. All right.